All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our second live stream. I hope everything looks good so far. I can't really tell, so I have to figure out if everything works. So, welcome back, guys. Guido, hi. Dominic, hi. Nice to have you guys here. So, party people, today we want to talk a little bit about my new app, Numerus. It's finally out, and there are a few more apps coming out as well. So through the next time, maybe you get a sneak peek today as well on the one or the other thing. But today I thought we discuss a little bit the details about what Numerus is, and I show you a little bit of the app. And I had a few questions coming up the last days, and I want to go through this tonight. So I hope you guys are all good and well this Sunday. Weekend is over. I hope you had a good few last days, the last days. Guys, I have to just figure out here with the chat and everything. So excuse me, I'm still in the works getting this getting this live stream to be what the other live streams used to look. And I'm happy that you guys are here. Palin, hey, how you doing, man? So yeah, guys, I have been working during the past few days on the next update for Numerus, and I had to push the first version out because releasing an app at the Apple Store seems to be, and is, from my experience now, is a little bit of a necky thing, you can say so. So it took me a few days. Felix, hi. It took me a few days to finally get the app through Apple approval, since this was my first app that was going to be released or was in the approval process. So I had no idea what to expect. So it took me, I think, around 2 weeks of forth and back with Apple to then finally figure out what they want and what is required from them to release the app. And yeah, then it was finally released. And in the meanwhile, I found a few little more bugs and they are most likely, or the most of them are fixed right now. I had a test flight version already submitted for the next approval of the update, but I needed to fix one last thing, and I just did it before the stream all day long. And it's now ready, and I will submit the next update tonight. So I think if everything works wrong, if everything works right, knock on wood, yeah. The app will be, the update will be released by the mid of this coming week. But I have absolutely no reason to promise anything, and I can't really promise anything because Apple is, I don't know. I love Apple and I like them. Yeah, if you're watching, guys, I like you all. And but it's a little bit tricky to get through the process. And let's see. Jan, hi, how you doing? So with that said, let's talk a little bit about Numerus. And I had quite a few things coming up and a few more suggestions for it that we want to implement in the app. I will guide you through the app in a minute as well. So I'll throw it up on the screen and we have a look through it together, because I think this is a good opportunity to do a little bit of a summary from all the requests that have been during the past weekend, because I did a post on, I think, Friday, which more or less released the app a little bit, and quite some people jumped on it, and I'm really happy for that, and I'm thankful that they are, and that they are here. But there have been a few questions and a few things I didn't thought about in the process of creating the app, and what should I say? I'm pretty sure you're not here to hear me talking all the time. I would say let's have a look at Numerus itself. So I suppose there are two reasons why you're here. The first one is, I think there are three reasons, but I just go into two. I think the first reason is because you already have bought Numerus and you're interested in what this is all about, since the tutorial needs to be filmed and I have to do it this coming week. So if everything goes right, I will be ready by the end of this week, having all the tutorial videos uploaded to the website as well. And then I need to implement this to the app as well, like on the app's website, on our web store. But I did an overlook video a few days ago, and I put it up on YouTube, and it's also in the Numerus group. I can't really put up a link right now. Guys, would someone of you would be so kind to put up the link for the Numerus Facebook group. That would be awesome. I didn't thought this through. I need to set up a chatbot for the next stream, so I can do this on command. But that would be awesome if somebody could do this. Yeah, but the tutorials will be ready sometime this week, and I'm aiming and I'm hoping that Apple will be releasing the app sometime around Wednesday or Thursday. I have implemented quite a big new feature, and I think you probably have not discovered everything that the app has to offer. So I want to show you the little hidden things that you haven't seen yet. Frederick, hey, what's going on, man? Freddy, how you doing? Yeah. So I was at. You're here for two reasons. Either you have the app already and you're interested in it, or the second reason would be you're interested in the app, maybe, or you have enough free time to watch me talking here all day about an app. that might be another thing, yeah. And yeah, let me tell you guys one thing first before all that. There have been a few reasons why I released the app, and I wanna go into the, let's say history, my history with this app before that. So I absolutely love the plot of having numbers predicted in every single way. There are different prediction systems out there that can do extremely good things. For example, I like the day and time for us from iThumb, for example. I use this, I don't know how long, it's for ages I use this. And there's so many cool things that you can do with numbers. But there's always one thing that I think you have to be aware of when you're performing with numbers. It's not to overload everything. So one example would be, let's assume you have an audience and there are a few people that just coming from work and they had numbers all around all day, and you don't want to get them involved too much into calculating or stuff. So I want to suggest you guys, if you go into that kind of routine, you should really be aware of having them not to do the calculation all the time. But that's one reason why I don't really like the magic square. For me, it's my thing. I personally don't like it. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I just don't like it for my performance style, and that's the reason why I don't perform it. But I've seen a lot of people do it, and that must be for a reason, right? Okay, so guys, let me just connect my phone to the screen, and then you guys can watch what is happening here and follow along from the beginning. So I'm curious if that will work, man. I'm really curious. It should be this one. There we go. It worked. Nice. So I brought up my phone on the screen so you can follow along, and I don't have to show it into the camera, which could be a little bit painful, I think. I mean, we would have this camera as well, but let's stick to this. I think this is a good thing. So the main thing why I came up with the app, as I said before, was I love the routine of having the days calculated, and a lot of other apps do this already, but not in the way like Numerus does. And I always had the problem of not being able to enter the data into the phone without having anyone around. So saying that, I mean that when I'm going to shows, sometimes I'm all alone there, and I don't want to be involving any other guys from the venue or so. So I want to be able to do everything on my own. So I do the prediction with the motherboard in the end. It's a finale of my show, and I do the day since prediction of a freely named spectators date. Or sometimes I also do this with a freely named date sometime in the future that is made up, like a date that is probably something for the spectator that means something to them, or where they achieve something probably, and we select this, how many dates are there. But we go through this a little bit later. But the main reason was, there are a lot of apps out there, but none of them did exactly that what I wanted. So I might have a different workflow to other magicians, but for me it's important. I do a lot of close-up, and I do shows as well. But for close-up, the one thing that is most important is that you can reset quick, and that you don't really have to think about anything in between tables. When sometimes, let's be honest, I think there are a few of you guys that are also doing close-up magic. sometimes you have a table here and the other guys right behind you are already waiting for you to perform for them, and then you don't have time, and you just have to turn around, and in that motion you have to be ready for the next effects. And I always wanted stuff that works like this and that I can totally rely on. And for that reason, I wanted to do my own apps for the longest time. So before I did all that, I created a shortcut. I mean, like a real massive shortcut. And shout out to my good friend Paul Brook at this place, at this point right now, because he's probably the king of shortcuts, yeah, with his great and awesome app Nameforge that is right around the corner as well. But he did it with the shortcuts in the beginning as well. And I thought to myself some time ago, I want to do the routine, and I tried to figure that out. And then I started to program my own shortcut, which could calculate the days to an event in the future and to an event in the past. And it grew from there. I took so much time into this because I wanted to have the star sign as well and other stuff. And I'm going into the details on the other modes in here in a minute, but I don't really think that someone meant to me yesterday in one of the Facebook groups that the day since feature might be the main feature for this app. And it's not. And I'll tell you in a second why. And before we now finally get into this, I want to tell you one more thing. It's the start of this whole DV magic stuff. Like, we started with TNT, released that a few weeks ago. I think it was weeks, not month. But we released that at Blackpool, before Blackpool. And the apps were already in the works during the meantime. And like a month ago, I started to create all these apps. And we have a lot of things planned for the year. And there are 4 more apps coming out with which are not just apps, but there will be also a system that is coming out. It's called Inputter. And a few people are quite curious about what this is about. And maybe I show you a little sneak peek, like a little one, a little bit later today, if you guys want it. I mean, I think there are a few guys already around who have seen it. I mean, like, post something if you have seen Inputter, at least like in the membership or so. No, but there are a lot of things coming up, and Numerus is just one part of a system that I want to create, and there are all these systems that are coming up in the form of different apps will come together in the end for one big effect. And it is like a whole system that builds up on each other. And I can't really tell you about the main app that I will be releasing hopefully before Blackpool next year, and that is ready for Blackpool maybe. But all the systems are required to do an awesome prediction, and yeah, that will all build up on each other. So Numerus is the first one, and then there's also Magnoram is coming out. It does anagrams, which is funny enough because Magnoram is anagram in German for anagram. Like, insane, right? So, but stop talking about other things. Let's go into Numerus for a second, all right? So, the main thing is, as you see, you have a calendar, like a date picker right here, where you can select different dates, and which is a good thing. I decided to make this a date picker because it's easy to handle dates like this. Also, there might be another fix and another setting coming soon. Talk about this later. So the main setting when you start the app is the days since feature. And with that, you can calculate the days since or to a date in the future or in the past. Let's say you have something in the future, it will show up with a minus in front of that, but the reveal will not. Talk about this also a little bit later. And if you have a date in the past, it doesn't have a zero before, a minus before that. So you know it's a date in the past. So then there's the star sign, if you want to do a star sign prediction. And bear with me, guys. I tell you in a minute what this is all about, because it's not just the star sign thing, and there's way more coming up. And then also you have the weekday feature, where you can calculate, or the app shows you what day of the week people were born in, at or in. And then finally, we have the numerology feature. I don't know how you guys perform, and I do mostly mentalism. Thank you, Felix. Thank you so much. So I do mostly mentalism, but I like to mix it up a little bit. And I don't know how you guys perform stuff like readings, or if you perform any kind of reading at all. But I sometimes like performing like a little bit of a reading for if I catch a person that I have the feeling that they like it. So it's mostly women, and a lot of women are into this kind of stuff. But we go into a little bit of what I think. Or let's do it right now, for example. So what numerology does, it's a real science. For example, let's say it this way. It's a science in esoterics, or like in astrology, which states that every one of us has its own birth number. So our birth date, for example, can be broken down into a single-digit number, and that is showing up or giving you traits that you have as a person. So, for example, right? Let's do it. I do this manually right now. I'll show you the voice inputs and everything else a little bit later. Well, let's say my birthday, and you can shortcut this or screenshot this right now. Andreas, hi. You can screenshot this right now and send me presents at that day if you like. But my birthday would be, for example, the 1. 1 would equal my birthday, and it's like this, that you have to add up all the numbers of your birth dates, and you will end up at a single-digit number. So 2 and 6 is 8, and then October is 10, and like you add it all up, but not like 10 in this way, but 2 and 6, you have 8. The 10 equals 1 and 0, so which would be 9 and 0, which would be 9. And then add another 1 for the year. It would be, we have been at 10 right now, and then you add 9 and so on. And you end up at a single-digit number. You do it this long, you add up the numbers so long that you end up with having just a single-digit number. And to every of these numbers, there's different adjectives or traits, or like, yeah, how do I say this in English? I don't know exactly right now. But you have different adjectives that are attached to a person's character, for example. Like, that would be leading, independent, original, which is 100% true right now. Absolutely no. But if you go ahead with other stuff, you have more different characteristics, right? A 3 would be then the creative, expressive, and optimistic, for example. Yeah, characteristics, right? Kev, yeah. Exactly. Thank you. So, with all this information, but it gets better. Bear with me. It gets better because there's something really cool coming up within one of the next updates. So, with that information that you have here, which by the way you can also peek on the watch, I'll show you that later, but you can then do some kind of reading, and I personally like that, and I really like revelations that are not 100% surefire. Like, let's say for example the day since feature, right? Someone names a date, you calculate the days since that date, post it somewhere. Let's go, for example, for Hydra, right? Or with Hydra from Shamir, and you post it on Instagram. So you have a definitive number of days that can definitely be calculated in the calculator. You can ask Siri or whatever you want, and there's nothing that could be left open about this. It's absolutely sure that you made this prediction and this was exactly that date. But I sometimes like to fail a little bit or leave room for speculation, if that could be a thing. So with that whole thing, is like, first you have something that is entertaining for people. Really, it's really entertaining because you can do this for a really long time, especially when you're in a situation. So don't get me wrong, I would not do this like as my opener effect when I'm going to a table or something. I'm doing SpongeBob, not really. But I would not do this as an opener effect when I'm going to the table. I would rather do this if I'm already sensing that the person is into this kind of stuff. And then you can go into a reading and explain a lot of stuff about this whole thing, like how these numbers are added up, how everything is coming together, how this can be, let's say, how this can relate to your own characteristics and your future. And of course, this is mostly made up, right? Like horoscopes, for example. We all know horoscopes, and if you read through them, and especially as magicians, we know that most of this stuff is like Barnum statements, which are like true for everyone. So read through a horoscope, and more or less you find truth in each and every single one of them. And let's assume for a second you hit a sentence that you don't really can relate to, then sometimes your brain makes it up that might be something in the future or whatever it is, right? We all know about horoscopes, and I love all this stuff. Speaking from horoscopes, and I tell you this guy right now, guys. So you could do this as a revelation, like print it out like with glyphs, if you have glyphs, for example. And I'm talking about all the stuff that you can send all the information to in a minute. But let's say, for example, you print this out on the glyphs printer, and then, for example, here on like a little notepad or so, you print out a revelation that's saying, today I will meet a very special person, which characteristics, which number, which has the characteristic number 3, and it will relate to the person that has these and these characteristics. You know what I mean? If you reveal that is something that leaves room for speculation. It is not like too far away from everything, because you can prove them that the 3, for example, if that would be their birth date, like the 26th of October 1983, you could prove to them that this date adds up to the number 3, and if they would have been born at another date. But it's a 1 in 9 chance, more or less, if you know what I'm up to. So I like revelations that are not always 100% surefire. Don't get me wrong, you need the really surefire methods that you know are hard hitting and stuff. But in a sense, I like sometimes if people have the feeling that I failed on something a little bit. So if you're more into magic, I don't know how you like this, but I really like also the Magician in Trouble, where people have the feeling that I fail, and then later on you bring that back up. Because if you've ever done that, you might have experienced this moment where everyone is almost feeling sorry for you because they all think you messed up and stuff. You know what I mean? And I like the revelations that are not like the most accurate, but leave room for something. That is exactly the thing that fortune tellers do. And just think about how many people are still going to fortune tellers. I think like when we're in America, like especially in California, for example, there are so many fortune tellers that had like real big shops, and so it's still a big thing. And let's say it this way, even if you don't believe it, I mean, I talk for myself, and I would be interested how you guys see this, but even if you're not interested and you don't believe in horoscopes and astrology and esoterics, for example, let's say you criticize it all, which is totally okay, but it's still interesting. Like, think yourself are in this situation. You're at a table, you're not a magician, right? You're a spectator. A person comes up to you and tells you, I can tell you a bit about you. I can tell you a bit about like your birth date. I can tell you a bit about what the stars are telling about your life and about your story and everything and about your history. And then you're sitting down and you're talking with them through all of this stuff. And let's assume in that process you are told a lot of good things that build you up. Like, I mean, magic is always meant to build people up, right? It's not supposed to bring anyone down anyways, but I think with mentalism, and with this kind of stuff, we have the ability to make someone's day. And like, I mean, if you tell someone like they have to make a decision, and maybe they are at the point in their life where they have to decide on a big decision, and you can help them in a way, I mean, that is always a good thing, right? It's a bit hard to explain, I think, and I will do this a bit more in detail in the tutorials. But I think all this revelation stuff is a great thing. And the next evolution of this will be, guys, imagine this. So with all the information that you can gather from Numerus, like the day sense, star sign, weekday, numerology, and a few more that are also coming in the next update, you will be able then to predict a written or printed horoscope, a full horoscope, which then uses the characteristics to describe this person. And before you perform, you can decide if you want it to be like a really hard-hitting horoscope, which then in the end says, and the number so-and-so, which was the dates that they have chosen before, and the days since the date that they have chosen before that. You can end the horoscope with having a definitive outcome, like something that they are 100% sure that this was meant for them. Or you can leave a horoscope open and have like a prediction of the characteristics and the numerology stuff. And I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of you guys coming up with other ideas as well in the future. I'm really all up for this app becoming the best app it can possibly be. And I'm all up for having a lot of support on this, and I want to see this system grow because I think there are a lot of ways to build more stuff into this. I have one other great idea. I think I just discussed this yesterday with Jonathan, and I think you might like this, but I need to see how I can integrate this into Numerus as well, because that has something else to do with numbers, but it's not about to talk about this right now. So, okay, let's go further through this, guys. So at the main screen, you have different integrations on the app. For example, you have Inputter, which is another system that will be released. And if you guys are interested, I can tell you one or the other thing about it if you want to know it. But let me see something in the chat if you're interested to know something about Inputter. WPredict will be a prediction system that is also coming a bit later this year. I'm testing this. This is the reason why it is already built in to the app right now. We all know Hydra, right? The beautiful app from Shamir Salim, a very good person. Greetings go out to Shamir. And I think if you're a magician, you definitely should look into Hydra and have it. It's awesome what you can do with it. Then there's glyphs like the printer function that you guys know, most likely. I already know, yeah. The printer function where you can print predictions. It's by Mustafa Bajoui, also a great guy. It's a great invention, guys. You definitely should look into this. It's one of the best inventions of the last years, and it's like absolutely worth to support this great product if you're a professional performer at least. And you will like it. It's like such a strong revelation. So, for example, if you don't know what it means exactly, imagine you print something out on a sheet of on a notepad like this, or you could do a prediction on a post-it note or whatever it is, and you bring it out of your pocket, and it's totally impossible for the spectator. And you can do so much great stuff with it, and it has so many more ideas and ways that you can use it. It's fantastic, I can tell you. So then the next thing is the motherboard, which is also another professional performance tool. It's a bit pricey, I need to say that in advance, but I know that there are a few people around that use the motherboard with this kind of revelation. This is one of the reasons why I created this app, because I wanted to have this for myself. Then you have the DV API, which allows you to connect to a lot of other third-party apps that are not naturally integrated into Numerus yet. Or let's say if there is another app that you want the data to be sent to, you can just turn on the DV API and send the data there, and you add all this into your other apps then. And detailed instructions on all of this will be on the tutorials. But just so you know, you can integrate on a lot of different apps that have not already been built in. So then Nexus is coming up. I just had a discussion with, not a discussion, but I just spoke to Jonathan Levitt this morning. And we will build Nexus into this, or better said, Nexus will have a natural integration into Numerus coming up. And I will show you a feature a bit later. I'm pretty sure you guys will like, and at least to my knowledge, I don't know if anyone has done this before, but I think you will 100% like this. Some magic, what's going on? So then you have the clipboard function, which is self-explanatory. If you have other apps that use the clipboard, you can use, for example, also shortcuts that facilitate like data that is in the clipboard. And I'm pretty sure that there are also other apps that can use the clipboard as an output. So just to explain this real quick, there are two types of buttons in here. Better said, there are three types, but There are mainly two types. It's the out and the in buttons. The out are the ones with a pink out written on top of them, like the ones that are first. This is always where you want to send to. So this is where you want to send your data to. And then you have the yellow buttons. This is where the app pulls data from, like where it grabs data from. And this is where you can make your inputs from. Like, for example, we have Inject naturally integrated here. We have Lumen Pro, which is an awesome tool, man. I'm pretty sure, I need to, just for a second, need to make sure that my monitors are not turning off. 1 second. This is the problem when you're all alone doing this, guys. So, yeah, we have Inject, we have Lumen Pro. Lumen Pro are those nice impression pads that you should really look into, and it's one of the greatest tools ever, and the quality is awesome. It's also a bit expensive, or a bit pricey, let's say it this way. It always depends on how often you use it and how much you use it, but it's a great tool. But so just so you know, someone writes something down in handwriting, you can reach out like a clipboard, for example, or different other things, and your spectator writes something down, and with that, everything has been inputted. So we have tried around with this also for dates, and it works great. There are a few steps that you should look into if you direct your spectator to input a date, but this looks awesome, and this works awesome, yeah. So then we also have a Momo integration coming up sometime, I don't know, I hope sometimes around summer this year. If you don't know what Momo is an app where you can input where you can throw up a fake pin screen, like you can do a pin revelation, like let the spectator open your own phone and stuff, like guess your pin number, for example. And with that, we could use this as an input from your spectators. So let's say they should assume what your pin code is, and you tell them, use a date for this, try the date, and it doesn't work. But with that, input it in the keypad of the phone, trying to unlock your phone, it will be sent to Numerus and wherever you want. There will be one integration that is coming up, but Shamir is really busy to integrate other things as well. So I think this will be sometime around summer. I hope so. I can't give you a guarantee on this. Then we have phone words integrated into this. If you don't know phone words, you should look into this as well. It's another great app by Mustafa Bajoui, and it is a different thing, but I really love it and I really like it. You tell your spectator, like, they have to input words on your keypad, on your dial pad of your phone, and through those sounds that those buttons make, you can guess what word that would equal to. It's a bit hard to understand, but you need to see it and you need to go and have a look at it. You will really like it. And with that, also you can send data to Numerus, and that will be then worked through and converted into whatever you want. So then we have my favorite features, guys. It's voice inputs. So we have voice inputs, as you all know, and I know that a lot of people are afraid of using voice input, and through the last month I have gotten so confident in using it because it's so reliable, and I put a lot of work into making this the best solution it can be for voice input. There are a few things that you need to be aware of that will all be taught in the tutorial as well, but it's like you set up a start phrase and an end phrase. Say your date in between, or you repeat the date of your spectator in between. And with that, you have set it all up, and everything is already automatically been done, sent, for example, to your Instagram bio. I'll show you a little bit of a presentation a little bit later. And then we have the remote, which is the newest addition to this. And my thing always was, especially with voice input, let's assume you're in a close-up surrounding and you have a lot of people sitting around the table, and it's loud, it's really loud, and you want to start your performance, but then somebody starts to talk all the time, and it goes longer and longer, and you are more and more afraid that the voice input might pick up something wrong, which it mostly doesn't do, but you know that, guys, right? And for that reason, I always wanted to be able to control when the voice input starts. And for that reason, I've built in a remote control feature that you can start the voice input and also the remote inputs with. So for right now, I use the Illuminati app, the Thumper 2. I think this is a great thing to use. You have for right now 2 different versions that you can select how the buttons are working on the app. But I will be adding more buttons and more functions in the future. For me, it was mostly important that the voice function works, the voice input, that you can start a voice input and that you can start the remote input. And with that, you can also bring up, so with the remote input, you bring up a screen where you then can enter the date manually. So let's assume it's the 12th of October 1985, for example, right? I did December, right? Didn't saw that, watch the screen. So then you bring up the date and everything is already done for you. So as soon as you hit the last key for the year, the app automatically converts the date to whatever output you want, and it's automatically sent to whatever output you have turned on. And this is just another option that you can do if you want to have the remote into your pocket and you're like sitting casually or you're standing around casually. It all depends on how you perform, but I really like the idea of having the remote like casually in my hand because it's also so small. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So this is just the native integration for a smartphone with the app, with the remote. You can just turn it on and you can type in numbers from it because it has a dial pad. But you can also connect it to the app, and I'll show you this real quick. We have a remote feature here. Then you're looking for the app, for the remote. Connect to it, and now you're connected. And with that, you have the thumper here, and long pressing, you have the input for days, like the manual input, 12th of December, 1955. Let's do this. And then you have it inputted manually through the remote, which is a great feature. I love it. And you can also do the voice input, and you just have to do a long press on the button. Now the remote starts and recognizing your voice, and you can input whatever you want. It doesn't work right now because we have to set it up. I want to show this how this works. So I left it open and I did not set it up yet, so I can demonstrate this in a minute. All right, then there's the astrology page. I mean, like there's something other coming up where you can let your spectator input data later on. I'm working on this, but it needs a little bit more effort because it is a bigger thing. Also connected to the Revelation tool that is coming up later this year. And the last thing, I thought about if I would like to already talk about it or not, but I like the OCR feature. OCR is like text recognition. It's a feature that is already built into the iPhone, and you can make use of it in like shortcuts, for example. And I thought, like, why not bringing that up into an app? But it has to be fine-tuned, and I'm still working on it. It's not that reliable yet. The text recognition works awesome, but the problem with that is like having the app decide on what to pick up and when it is good enough to automatically send over to the calculation and then send it out to your Revelation. I assure you that this is a feature that will be definitely coming up, and the idea about this is like having the camera on. You let the spectators write something down, and then the motion of taking the billet or something, whatever, the app scans it off. It's like so fast. It's so fast, and it's really reliable. The thing is, I have the feeling that the worse the handwriting is, the better it can recognize the text. That's just my feeling. I don't know if you have that experience as well with other apps maybe, but that is an awesome feature. And I think this will be making a great, like MindDraw. Yeah. MindDraw does a little bit of the same. And like there's also the card phone app out there, which utilizes a similar principle. And I think it's like one of the best ideas that you can ever have to just do it in that motion, have your phone up there, and then the camera scans it. Why not utilizing the phone? I mean, like, we all have like computers in our pocket that are able to do things that are incredible, and not many people know about this. I mean, like, at least think about it. So us magicians, we spend a lot of time and effort into finding out what apps can do and what ways we can use electronics to do great effects, right? But not everyone does that. I mean, like, nowadays with AI, a lot of people are assuming that it is AI in one or the other way, which they are sometimes right, sometimes wrong with, and yeah. But what can you do with that, right? You have to frame it the way that they think differently. That's all the thing that you have to do within the performance, like to do layers and to bring the spectator on a different route as what they would usually think about. You know what I mean? But that's a topic for some time else. But speaking of AI, so one question that I had a lot coming up is, Mark, that's a nice app, but why not using AI? And I tell you this, guys, I love AI. I absolutely love AI, and I think we all have to use it in the future, and we all will use it in the future. It will change our lives. But the thing is, AI can do a lot of things, also pretty much reliably, but it can't really calculate the days to a date. I don't know why that is. I absolutely don't know why that is. You can, if you would go to ChatGPT, for example, right now, and you enter in your date, what's the day of today, and we tell you the exact date. But if you want to do this in a performance or something, we had it fail so often. We tried different prompts, and it was never 100% sure in the right date. Sometimes it's 30 days more, sometimes it's 2 days less, and whatever it is, but it's not reliable. And the last thing on stage that you want is having a date that is not reliable, or having a number written on somewhere that is not the correct amount of days, right? So with Numerus, I decided against AI, at least with the calculation engine for the days, the star sign, and the weekday. It works with star signs and weekdays. That would work with AI. I absolutely want to be true with, and honest to that. But the day since calculation doesn't work. And also the other features that are coming up won't work with that kind of thing. So that is the reason why I did not just build AI into this. As I said, again, there are a lot of great apps out there, like Bridge from Mark Kerstein and stuff. Like, they're great ideas. Also Nexus from Jonathan, and so many more great apps. And you can use AI in all of them, but it has its ways to go and it has its ways to not be implemented, at least yet. And I think for the next few years, at least, I think the next 2 years, it won't really be able to do this reliably. There are ways to use it reliably, but not always. All right. So then we also have the note output. The note output is if you want to do a prediction on your phone. You can predict a text with whatever you want to have as the output, like the day since, for example, on a note on your phone. If you don't want to send it somewhere, if you don't have an internet connection, that is one of the things that I'm always worried about. So that is also the reason why I have 2 different carriers on my phone, because you have a lot of venues where you don't really have a good and reliable internet connection. And even in the year 2025, we still have so many venues who have at least horrible or no Wi-Fi at all that you can jump on. So I like to have a backup that is offline, that is working offline, totally offline. So you don't have to rely on an internet connection. And that was the reason why I put up a note feature. So with a note feature, you can have different shortcuts created. It comes with 2 different shortcuts, and there will be a few more on the tutorial that you can select from. And you can build them the way you want them to be, because it's a free text that will appear within a note. And it's so much more like that, but you can create the way it is revealed on the note. So that is one thing. So then we have the performance screen. I'll show you this, and I tell you right now, the screen will go black right now, and my server will think the phone has turned off because it's pitch black right now. I have to tap it, so it's still visible here. But you have the performance screen, and this is basically if you want to perform anything, you can go into that and put your phone on the table and it looks like it's turned off. I can show you that in the camera right now. It looks like this. If you have a look here, it's totally turned off. And you have a peak function here where it shows you what data has been sent in and what's the output, like the days or the star signs or the numerology numbers. And it also shows you when the data has arrived, for example. And you exit the screen by tapping on the bottom left area, like here, and then you can exit back to the main screen. So that is the main function of the main screen. Let's have a quick look at the settings. I want to show you the one or the other thing here right now. So we have the login screen, obviously, which I need to really quick talk about. There has been a few people, not a lot of, there have been a few people asking why the app is showing up as no active licenses. And that is on me because I forgot to declare something as showing when you bought the app through the App Store, that it is showing that you have an active license for Numerus. But it's not required at all. So if there are licenses showing up, this means the licenses are for different systems. Because the whole thing that we are building with DV Magic right now is like one big thing that works with all the apps. Meaning that if you have created an account on Numerus, for example, you will be able to use this account at all the other apps that we produce in the future. And since there are features cross-working through all the other apps, like Importer, for example, as soon as you log in, the app sees that you have active licenses from Importer, for example, and gives you the ability to use it. And also the license system is required to show our systems who is sending the data to where, and then so you can send the API, and the API knows where to send the data to. So it's a big thing, but just so you know, you just need to set up an account once. It's not a big thing. Just go to the register button down there, click on register, type in your email address, type in your password. You will receive an email as a confirmation. We need to do this because of spam reasons, right? You have to click the link in the email that is sent to you to activate your account. So if you don't do that, your account will not be activated. I repeat that, if you don't click the link in the email, your account will not be activated. We had this for two mails or so. It can be that these emails go to spam, so check the spam as soon as you have registered, the email goes out, and it should be there. It should definitely be there. If not, just contact us. It might happen, maybe. It hasn't happened yet, but it might happen for some reason, whatever. But it shouldn't. So it should be there. Then you click the link and your account is activated and you're all set. Even if it says for now, no active licenses, ignore that. Ignore that, that doesn't mean anything right now. The app is fully working and it's fully accessible, also the DV API and stuff. So don't worry about that. All right, then we have a settings system. And by the way, just a little other thing. I'm on the new updated version right now. So if you see a feature here that you don't have right now, don't worry about this. It will come with the update this coming week. I hope so. If Apple leaves us through, right? So you have the app language, which is at the moment only English. This will relate to all the text and all the UI, user interface in here, which I thought it's not necessarily required to translate this into other languages because most of the stuff is self-explanatory, and with numbers and dates you don't really need that. If you guys need that and would love to have translation for it, let me know, but I don't think it's required, at least on this app, right? So then you have the database language selector. This is different languages. For now it is English and German, but we will add more languages. This refers to the outputted star signs, for example. So if you leave it in English, it's Capricorn in German, or Scorpio, and then you have Scorpion in German. But we just had a request from a guy from Korea, and we will translate it to Korean. And if you have a request for your language, I think we will add the most common languages like Spanish and Italian and French and stuff like this. So you can send out the revelation in your own language. So I think this is quite important to do that. Then it comes to voice input. And this is brand new. For right now, you have the selection of German and English. Those are the two languages that are on the version 1.0. But with 1.1, because this is a bigger update, I decided to name it 1.1, you will have a bigger selection of different languages that you can choose from, right? And I say this again, if someone is around whose language is missing, let me know. And then I think there's probably most likely a way that we can implement this as well, right? So for now, I'll leave it with English, even if I use German most of the time. But yeah, then you have your start and end phrase. If you have never used voice commands before, or if you have never used voice input before, just so you know, you enter the start phrase as a way of telling the voice recognition, now is the part where the date comes that I should select from, and the end phrase would be, all right, done, here we go, now I can send it out. So for example, that would be, if you put in the start phrase, your date, I need the remote, I have it connected here. Your date is, that would be my start phrase. And then let's do for the end phrase, I do right, for example. So my process would be, I'm asking anyone for a date. Let's say it's the 26th of October. And then I would repeat, so your date was the 26th of October, 1985, 6, 7, whatever it is, right? And in that motion, everything is done. The app does everything for you, and it is really, really, really reliable, really reliable. And you could technically do it without the start phrase, but it is, but you run the risk at having the app record something that the spectator says. Like you have a double date or so. So for not a double date in this way, but the app recognizes the wrong date and you don't want that, right? So I would recommend you to put also in the start date. I'll show you that in a minute. So then we have the integrations, self-explanatory. You have the DV API, Glyphs, Hydra, inject Glyphs ID, like for a Glyphs portal. If you have the API connection for Glyphs, I think you still need to purchase it separately from Mustafa. Write him and say him hello. And then you have the motherboard ID and the Lumen user ID for your Lumen text recognition thing. You need to enter those IDs because otherwise it can't really pull from the right source. So it's important to have the IDs inputted there. Then we have the, where were we? Yeah, the remote thing. For right now, it just supports the thumper at the moment. I used it for quite some time and I really like the long press function and the haptic feedback. So if you don't know that thing gives you a haptic feedback as soon as it has sent out the data, and it's pretty reliable. I like it a lot. Also for other applications, it's a great thing. And we may or may not be in discussions with for a few ideas and stuff about this as well. So remote thing. Then we have the inputter settings. I'm not showing you the inputter settings right now because it's not finished yet to show. But let me tell you this, if you want to know what the inputter is, you can use your spectator's phone as an input device and send data from there to your Magic application. Like let's say you want to make a date prediction. It will look like a little bit like this. So let's say you tell your spectator to open Google. You take their phone. In that motion, you do something, and you are able to input the date. Then you, no, I'm not telling you all the details yet, but then you use the phone, place down the phone on the table, for example, and then you can also make another prediction there, but also have been sent sending the input to your Magic application. So Numerus would have received the date from there, and you would have never touched your phone or anything else. But it will be much more than that. It will also work on Android and iOS, because it's not just an app. It will be an app, but it's not just an app. It will be a big thing. This is probably the biggest thing of all, like technically, and the most work that has to be done and put into this. But I like the idea, and I show you that how that looks technically when we're back at the front page. So then AI settings coming up in the future for the other settings. Shortcuts. This is the screen where you can select your different shortcuts. If you have set up a shortcut, you just put in the exact name here, then you can test it there, you turn it on, and whenever it's turned on and you use the note feature, that's the shortcut that will be used. So it's not just limited to have this written on a note, but you have, so if you have any other ideas what you can do with shortcuts, for example, you can technically send it everywhere, and you can do so much stuff with that. I decided to make a few different fields you can choose from. So you can select like up to 4 different shortcuts that you then can select from during the performance. And so we have the both pre-set up shortcuts here to download that you can use, but you can make your own as well. There will be a clear description on how to do that on the tutorial. So then we have the peak settings. So you have the peak function, the watch peak function, which I need to say it's an in-app purchase. You need to purchase that separately, and you will receive a watch app that looks like this. And I'll show you that in a minute. You have the peak function, which would be the peak that would be shown on the performance screen, the black screen that I just showed you, and when you start your performance. You can turn it on to always show the peak, or to just do it when you touch the screen. With that, you would have a pitch blank screen, and then the revelation would be, or like the output would be shown on the screen. You have vibration as a signal if you just want to turn your phone face down and you want some kind of haptic feedback there. Then you can use Peaksmith as an integration. You need the Peaksmith polling function for this. It also uses the DV API, which is in the purchase included. And we have the G sensor. Like for G sensor is another app that you can, a watch app that you can use to peak information. You can do more with that, but I used to like it, and I used to use it quite some time ago. And I think it's a great app, and you can put in the link and peek your information there as well, so you don't have to touch the phone. Then we have the numerous instructions. Fantastic, guys. We have a little bit of an instructions here. There will be videos as well, but I thought it might be a nice thing to have a few instructions written down here and make shortcuts to the login menus, so it's easier to understand. And you can go from there. Then you have a bit more, few credits and stuff. You can explore that yourself. Also, most important, join the Facebook group. You can join in on the group for, it's a private group, by the way, so just said that. Yeah, and then the restore purchase. If you purchased an in-app purchase and you move your phone, whatever it is, like you just restore it. That is mostly it for the settings stuff. I think, I mean, like it's probably enough settings for right now. But here comes another feature that I love, guys. So think about this. I always had problems with, not really, I want to call it problems, but if I wanted to start a performance, I always had to think about what do I want to do, and I had to set it up before I start the performance, right? Most of the time it is like this. You have to decide, oh, now I want to do a prediction on Instagram. So you have to do your steps, and then you have to go into perform mode and start the performance, right? But I wanted to be able to control this with one thing. Like, let me explain it this way. So I'm not quite sure if you have heard of URL schemes. I don't know if it's pretty new, but a few apps facilitate that and use that. So with URL schemes, you can technically open other apps and send data to there. So this is the main thing that a lot of people do. Dominic, good night, goodbye, and thank you for being here. So you can send data from app to app, so you don't have to do it through the internet, like with an API connection. So it would be an offline way to send data from one app to another app. And Nexus will, for example, do this. So Nexus will be sending information to Numerus via URL scheme, and then Numerus sends it back via URL scheme. But it has another thing, and I love this. So you can, on the app, on Numerus, decide what functions you want to activate, put it into a URL scheme, create a really tiny shortcut. It's not even worth talking about. It's so easy. And we will also prepare a few ones just to download. And then you have an icon on your screen, and everything you need to do to start it is like pushing one icon. The app starts in, let's say, Hydra is on, Lumen is on, in perform screen, in the day since mode, or in the numerology mode, in that and that language. You can send all the information to there, and the app's ready to go. I think nobody really did this before. I have not, at least not seen this, but I like the way that this opens an app, and that is how that is working. So you don't need any fake screens, so you just have an icon on your main screen. And for me, at least, this is a great thing. You can create your own logos there, so you don't confuse them, and you always know what mode you are in. And I think this is a great thing. So no like turning on Hydra and I want inject, the signal to be coming from inject, if that works, right? And then go into perform mode. You just have to do it from the main screen and you're ready to go. And it looks like you're turning off your phone. You can like take it and you turn it off, and then it's pitch black and you're ready to perform it. I love this feature. It will be detailed in the instructions because you have to use special URL links that you need to put into the shortcuts then. And it also works through browsers and from other software. And imagine this, it could be technically possible, and we need to discuss this with others. It could be technically possible to, let's assume, for example, not that I have spoken with anyone about this, but let's assume for a second, you use Nexus, let's say it this way, and then you want Nexus to send a signal to Numerus, a date, for example. But you can beforehand set up the link, the URL, to where you want it to go. So it's not just sending the date, but it's also controlling Numerus from there. So you don't have to touch it at all, right? And I love things like this because it makes it easier, especially when you're doing close-up. You need to see this live performed. I know it's a bit hard to understand when I'm not performing this right now, but you will see this in a performance and in details when we go through all that in the tutorials. And just so you know, I don't want to go into the full details and the performance and the revelations here because it's a YouTube stream, but we will do that in another live stream, maybe on Zoom someday, and like this on the tutorial videos. So let's talk real quick about Inputter. Inputter is a button like all the other ones, except it looks better. I don't think so. It has this cool animation and it does much more. So Inputter locks a page and it unlocks a page for you, and nobody can access this until you open it up. And it will be inbuilt in all the other apps that are coming out. So also in Magnoram, it will all use Inputter as a input device from a spectator's phone, or different other ways as well. If you have turned it on, it constantly pulls data from there, and then you can send the data over. You can also go in perform mode. You can leave it on like this, go into perform mode, data is coming in, and then processed and sent to wherever you want it to be sent. I absolutely love this feature. So yeah, then we have as I said, the voice input. Let's try it this way. What that's set up for the star words. Your date is, right? So keep that in mind. So then when you start it, it would like be your date is the 12th of October 1985, right? And then the app sets the date. And it's so reliable, guys. You just don't have to take care of it. It just works. And you can do this again if, let's say, for example, you use the remote, and that is the reason why I love it. You can also do it in the perform screen. I just don't do it so because it turns off and you can't see it. But if you do this in the perform screen, you just push the button on your remote like this. Voice turns on. I got a haptic feedback, and now I know the recording is turned on. And your date is the 9th of May, 1955, right? And then you have the next thing. It automatically turns off to prevent other inputs from there. And the app knows when a date has been there, and it controls everything. And it double checks if the date is a real date and stuff. And I've spent a lot of time to figure that out, how the structure of a date can be in different parts of the world. Because in the US, for example, you say the month first and then the day. In Germany, we say the day first and then the month, and stuff like this. And you have to think about it. Stuff that we take for granted is actually a problem for tech stuff like an app to really recognize it. Some people say 1955, other people say 55. It works both ways if you just say the last 2 digits and stuff. Also explained in the tutorial. This is my favorite feature by far, honestly. I have gotten so used to it, and you can try around a bit at loud venues and it still works. The good thing is about it, the iPhone learns, and the speech control is part of the whole iOS system. And you know that Siri learns from the person that it's owned by. I don't know how to say this, guys, but yeah. Oh yeah, now it comes up on my screen here. I shouldn't have said the word. Damn it. But it learns from talking to it, and it learns how you speak, and it evolves on this and gets better. So why use another system if it's already a perfect system built into the app, right? So that is one of the reasons why I really, really, really like it. So yeah, I talked a lot. Sorry for that, guys, but I needed to go through all of this. How late is it? Oh, it's already more than 1 hour right now. Yeah, so just a real quick thing, just a basic presentation that you would say, for example. Let's say you want to send it to some kind of third-party app. You use the DV API, which then sends the data out. Turn this on. If you want to do it manually, then you select the input, like let's say you do manual input with the remote, which also, by the way, works on the black screen. Then you can type in the date. And from there, you're ready to go. And that's it. You're ready to start, and the app does everything. And I love the day sense reveal. I love the numerology stuff, and we have different templates that are coming up for the reveal with glyphs as well, and different ideas on that. And I'm pretty sure you guys will like it a lot, as I do. And yeah, my highest goal with all of this is to make this the best app possible, and to try and bring other ideas to life with this. So I absolutely would love you guys to join the Facebook group if you have not done yet. So at least if you have purchased Numerus and you used it, I would be really happy to see you there and to discuss new ideas. Julius, hello there. Is the voice input on the watch or on the phone? Kev, the voice input is on the phone. It's on the phone, but it's even in a loud environment, it's still reliable when you have it placed on the table. Like if you have it there and you have other people talking, also due to the start and end phrase, it recognizes your voice as the correct input. So it can be a bit further away, and also it has with all the AI features. I don't know what Apple does with this, but it's awesome. It is just awesome. I know there's eavesdrop, which Nexus uses, and Jonathan came up with this great idea to have Nexus on the Apple Watch, which is awesome as well. And I absolutely love to use this feature. But the reason It's not that I'm saying that you should not use eavesdrop or whatever, but I just wanted to have a native voice input in here because I wanted to be able to just bring out the phone, put it on the table, and without anything else, without opening other stuff up and opening other apps up, I can be able to use voice input. It's the most hands-free thing, and during the course of all the creating of the app, I have played around so much with this that I can say it's unbelievable reliable. But the thing is, I just don't want to say I created a reliable voice input, which is not the case, which I would probably not be able to, but Apple did. Apple just did it. Just give it a try, and let's say I really put it to the test, and because I want a tool to use it for myself in first place. I'm not bringing out an app because I want to make money from this. I want a tool that I can rely on, right? Yeah, Gregory, hey, your locations are cool. Thank you, Jules. Talk about this in a sec. Yeah, but I wanted a tool that I can use for myself and that I can rely on, and it's fantastic. Man, I try it. I really wanted to bring it to the test. And let's say, for example, you start a performance, you start the voice input, and then you're sitting there and you thought as the clever magician or the mentalist, haha, now I'm starting the performance and I'm sitting here and I'm directly going into the conversation with my spectator and get the date and input it as fast as possible. That's what we would love to be able to do, right? So for me at least, I would be happy if I can do the input as fast as possible. But at least with close-up, you sometimes have the problem that people come up and talk in between and then it takes longer and whatever. And I really wanted to test how reliable this is. So just so you get a rough idea of how voice input works, it is recording all the time, it transcripts what is spoken, and it basically sucks in everything that is said. So it sucks in everything that is said, not just from me, but also from all the other people that are talking. And we tried it like with 5 or 10 minutes. It was recording and it still worked. So as soon as you say your end phrase, the voice input knows that it is done and uses the date that was before that, and it's using this to do the revelation. It's insane. It's insane. So I repeat again, it's not my thing. I don't earn no credits for this, but I really love it. It's a cool thing. Yeah. And I won't do any voice input on the watch since I don't feel it's necessary on the phone, and also because Jonathan had it first with eavesdrop, and I don't want to copy stuff like this. Also, I don't want to be a copycat with it. So maybe a lot of people have Nexus already, then you can use it with eavesdrop there. And the eavesdrop is just a great thing as well. So both is great. Like, I would prefer the input through the watch when, for example, I'm in a show where you can't really have your phone laying around. And the way I perform, it's not a real problem if I have my phone in my hands sometimes. I don't really think that there's a big problem. Yeah. Are you going to give an example too? I already did, Julius. Oh, one more thing, I forgot about it. We just need to talk real quick about the watch peak. And another thing, just so if you bought Numerus, I wanted to have a visual confirmation that I know the data has been sent. So I just not, how do I say this? Most apps, and I don't want to say it's a bad thing, I just want to say I wanted it differently. Most apps give you a visual confirmation of that the data has been sent or received, which receiving is not a problem, but the data has been sent as soon as the data has been processed for whatever app that is, and is sending out without checking if the data has arrived. I wanted, at least for everything that I can do in my systems, that the app knows that if a signal has been arrived at the API. So let's say, for example, you don't have internet, you have a really weak connection or so. I want a visual confirmation that this didn't work. What this means would be like, let's say we use the Hydra thing, select the date, I'm pushing send, which all does voice input itself, just for demonstration purposes. Now it's sent, it gives me a yellow send bar, I know it has been arrived because it just got the information back from the API that the data is there, and I know 100% sure. I would like to show you this offline without Wi-Fi, but then my connection would turn off. It would be red and it would be telling me that something has not gone right. So that something was wrong and the data has not been sent. So I know I would then take another route for my revelation. I think this is a real important thing, especially when you're on stage and you have to rely on technical stuff. So I know this from experience, guys. I messed up something. I could do a rescue routine, but it's not a cool thing if technique leaves you down hanging and you want to be able to know at all times what is going on. So that is the reason why I also created these apps as simple as possible, not overloaded. I always like the UI to look as easy as possible, so you don't have to search for stuff very long. That was important to say, yeah. And also, lastly, you have the watch peak. Let me bring that up real quick. I need to do this, I think. Boop. Yep. I'm using the test flight version here. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this right now. This is the new version that will be coming with the next update as well. So you will have the day since there in big letters. You also will have the date input seen down there. And it looks for you guys right now as if it would be white. And I decided not to do it as a white font. It's, I would say, like middle gray. It's grayish, like a little bit darker. The problem with that is sometimes when you perform in darker surroundings and you have it in a bar, for example, and it's pretty dark around there, then you have a watch peak and it's like flashing up as light as day. So I want it to be a bit more subtle. Like when you do this, like nobody really sees that the screen has turned on. And that is the reason why I left this font as dark as possible, but so you can still easily see what it is. Maybe in the future we do a setting that you can put in the brightness as well, like decide for yourself how much you want it. But for now, I think this is the best way to peak it. And also I had one guy asking me yesterday, he had problems with the Apple Watch 9. I want to be honest with that. I already fixed this with the new update. This will be fixed. There has been a bit chopped off on the bottom of the screen. Wouldn't be a big problem, but I would like to see everything on the screen that is required. Yeah, so with that said, what else? Are there any questions, guys? Honestly, I can't really think of anything right now. I just want to make a quick live stream about all the features that the app has. There will be a lot of presentation videos coming up. We have to go out and film this. It's a bit tricky to do this in Germany when you have to do English presentations sometimes. So, but we will do this in the future so you guys see what this is. At least we will do some studio performances in different environments and different situations with the app. And yeah, there will also be a bit more button configurations coming up for the remote. So you can start a few more modes from the remote. Modes from the remote, that's funny to say. Like you can do it from your pocket or you can have the remote into your pocket. And we investigate on other ways to integrate with different other apps as well. So this is not the end of all the integrations that will be on the app. I'm also thinking about integrating with a few calculator apps that then could send data to our apps. And yeah, other remotes. Yeah, Kev, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So the thing is right now, this is a pretty new thing. And I just want to have the remote that I'm used to. For now, I did this purposely that the app only supports the thumb up because of confusion, because it's not because I just wanted to limit the app. It's just because remotes are a bit tricky to integrate into apps. Honestly, that is one of the reasons. That was the feature that messed me up. That really messed me up. I think it took 3 days or so to be able to have this working in the app. And different apps send different signals, and that is the problem why you can't really do it 100% reliable. I won't say that we will never have other apps integrated into the app, but if you use Nexus, for example, I don't know if you have Nexus, we will find ways that you can use the Nexus remote in Nexus and send signals over, and the app does everything itself. As I said, with the URL schemes, you send something over. That's at least my idea, and we're trying to figure that out right now. But let's assume you set up your reveal in Nexus, and then it's sent over in other apps. Not just talking about Nexus, but I'm just making this as an example right now because it has a remote also. And then the data is sent over. Numerus knows what it has to do, and then everything is done, so you don't have to touch it. But with that said, yeah, absolutely, I would be open to integrate more apps, more remotes. If you have any other ideas on remotes, let me know. Absolutely. I don't know, do you use a special remote, like something else? Let me know which one that is. I would be quite interested to know that. But I think there are not so many remotes on the market that are really, really good thing and that you can use to the Nexus, Wilson Nexus remote. Yeah, right. So the Wilson Nexus, so we don't integrate right now to Numerus directly, so it has to go through through Nexus, which will be part of the next update. And I promise you, we'll find the best solution, the best possible solution. Because I think the Nexus remote is part of the Nexus system, and for that reason I can't right now put it natively into the app, but we'll see what the future brings. I keep you posted on the group. Yeah, it is possible to build in more remotes, but it also all depends on how many people jump on to the project, which is also another thing, right? I said I wanted to do an app, or wanted to create an app that I use for myself, which is 100% true. But the more people are involved in this whole project with Numerus and all the other stuff, apps that are coming up, the better it gets, right? The more things you can build around this, and yeah, we'll see what else and what other ideas are coming up then. This is all brand new, guys. I need to tell this, or I need to say this again. This whole thing is absolutely new for me, so forgive me if there's the one or the other thing that needs to be changed around. So I do my very best to fix everything. If there's something, I won't say broken right now, because it's not broken. It's just like maybe a few features need to be a bit more improved or a bit different. And some descriptions might be not as perfect as I thought they were in the beginning when I sent out the first version of it, but I will absolutely improve on everything that comes up with it. And I just want to assure you, if you put money into this thing, and if you want to become part of the whole DV Magic stuff, I like to call it this way because it will be a project, not just an app. If you want to become part in this, I can assure you that I absolutely 100% give the best support that I can, because I feel myself it's really important to support people that support you in that way, and I want this to become the possibly best app that it can be. And for that reason, we try to figure that out. Also, every now and then, the biggest problem with apps is phones evolve, the operation systems evolve, like iOS, what is it, 19 is around the corner or so, and it says it has new features and new stuff, and maybe we have to swap stuff around, and Apple sometimes allows things and sometimes forbids things that have been possible in the past, and so for that reason such apps have always to be evolved on. Yeah, right. So, and I absolutely will do that. I don't know. If you want, I can give you a really quick sneak peek on Magnoram, which will be the next release after this. It is an app. No, I don't really give you a sneak peek right now. I just tell you about it. Magnoram will be an app that you can create anagrams with, but there's one really, really interesting way where that has 100 million% not been done before, and I think this is extremely interesting and funny. So you can do open predictions with that, and then, yeah, but you need to see that if you stay tuned. So for all the informations, guys, if you are interested in any of that, jump on our newsletter. We don't send out spam. That's important to say. Everything I do with DV Magic is out of passion to Magic itself. I tell you this. It's not that I'm a businessman and want to make the possibly most money that I can. It's just because I want to be to give a bit back to this whole industry that has made my livelihood for the past, I don't know, how many years now? Almost 10 years or so that I'm doing this full time. And I love Magic so much, and I want to become a big part of this this scene and give something back that other guys love and use as well. So now I'm stop talking. It's like I'm talking bullshit, guys. So once more, we have TNT as well, right? I don't know if you saw that. Those are the Tear No Tear coasters that we released a few weeks ago. I love this as well. If you want to look into this, have a look at our website. And Richie did an awesome job on the coasters, and we worked together with Richie so much, guys. And there's so much more coming. I'm looking so much forward for the future and everything that will be coming up with DV Magic. And I'm so happy that you guys are around and that so many people like Numerus, which to me, I just wanted to show a few people that we have an app right now and it's released, because we have not yet done the really official release. And I was surprised how many people liked it. So from the bottom of my heart, if you have purchased Numerus, thank you for that, and thank you for supporting that. And I wish you a lot of fun with that idea. And yeah, there's nothing left to say from my side right now. So is there anything you guys want to know? Is there anything I have left open? If not, then I would wish you all a very happy Sunday evening for wherever you are in the world right now. For us in Germany, we have evening and it's 9:30 exactly. So a pretty long stream for what I wanted to do. If you have questions, guys, please leave it underneath the video. Post a comment, let us know. Join our Numerus Facebook group. We'll be happy to see you guys there if you're on the Numerus project. And I would also appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel. If you want to have the best insights on everything that is released and you want to be the first to know everything and anything about our new releases that are coming up, because there's a lot. Also merch. We are working on merch, guys, as well. Then sign up to our newsletter. It's on our website, dv-magic.com. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. That time flew by that fast. If there's anything, let me know. Have a great Sunday. Have a good start in the week, and catch you sometime around. Bye. Bye-bye.